Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers again with Green Acres Pest Control. And today I want to talk about how to pick your exterminator, who you need to call, what questions you need to ask, things like that. Basically, what you need to do to ensure that your money is well spent and that you're going to get the job that you need done. The bugs are going to be under control, rodents, bats, creatures, whatever it is that you're having a problem with. Now, this may go without saying, but you want to make sure that your pest control technician is both licensed and insured. Now, I'm going to go over Virginia law. I'm not going to go over, any other state law. I'm not really sure how things work in other states. I'm pretty sure they work similar. But in Virginia, you're required to keep insurance or you will lose your pesticide applicator license. You will lose, if you do not keep your business license, you'll lose your pesticide applicator license. There are certain things you have to do, as in following labels, ensuring that you're properly storing your pesticides, that you are properly applying pesticides, that you're not going against labels. All of these things factor into a decent exterminator. Now, if your exterminator is licensed and he's gone under all the proper procedures and everything to get licensed and insured, then that kind of cuts out all that. There are exterminators, don't get me wrong, there are exterminators out there that will disobey label. You really don't know what you're getting into when it comes to that. You just hope that they're going to follow the law and they're going to do what they're supposed to do. Now, you'll want someone that can answer your questions, that is knowledgeable, that knows the pesticides they're using, that understands how they work. For example, a cholinesterase inhibitor. This is something that's on the Virginia state exam. You should know what that means. As a pest control technician, you should know what a cholinesterase inhibitor is. You should know what cholinesterase is. Cholinesterase is a chemical that flows between the nerve synapse. It allows for the electricity to jump back and forth between the synapse. Most pesticides, not all pesticides, but most pesticides are cholinesterase inhibitors. You need to be able to know what that means and know what that does. Because the reason you want to know is because you don't want to be misapplying pesticide, probably making somebody's pets or children sick. You want to make sure that it goes exactly where it's supposed to go based on the label. That's why the labels are written the way they are, because a cholinesterase inhibitor can harm mammals. As long as you apply it properly, you're not going to hurt anybody. So follow the label. That's what the label's for. And this is something you want to look for in an exterminator when you are hiring someone. You don't want someone that hides the chemical, that doesn't tell you what pesticide they're using. You want them to be honest. You want them to be upfront. If you ask them, hey, what kind of chemicals are you going to be using? They don't dodge. They don't, they write out, honestly say, oh, well, we're going to be using this or we're going to be using that. If we're killing bed bugs, we're going to be using temperate, or we're going to be using crossfire or bedlam or whatever it is that they decide to use. You want them to be upfront and honest and, not hide the fact that, they may be doing something shady. That's what I get a lot of people. And the reason I'm making this video is a lot of people ask me advice. They call me from all over the world. They ask me, do you know any exterminators in my area? Do you know who I can call? Honestly, I'm going to be upfront. YouTube is a worldwide organization. There are people that use YouTube every day all over the place. And there are exterminators that use YouTube. I have been contacted by exterminators. I don't recommend any exterminators because I don't know whether or not they're being genuine. I can't prove it. I don't know them. It's just the internet. So this is what I'm doing. That's why I'm making this video, is so that I can try to help you pick the right exterminator for you that's going to do a job right for you. Now, my other phone is going off over here telling me I got emails. Sorry about that noise and everything. But what you want to do is you want to ask lots and lots of questions. You want to make sure that your exterminator is knowledgeable, that understands what they're doing. A lot of problems in the market today is that these big box exterminators, and honestly, just to name a few, I'm going to name some right off, but you know who I'm talking about. For example, Orkin. Everybody knows who Orkin is. Orkin is all over the place. They're everywhere. The biggest problem with big box stores and big box exterminators is that you're just a number. The biggest problem is that they are spending so much money in advertising that there are people there to replace you. You're not that important of a customer. If they dissatisfy you, they know they've got someone else in line right behind you ready to hire them. I mean, even to this day, I've been doing this for 30 years. People know who I am. People know who I work for. People know that I work for myself. People know all this stuff about me, but they still call me the Orkin Man. You know, that's the thing. They've built a really good brand. They've spent a lot in advertising. They've got a lot of people that you know, that work for them, that ensure that, you know, everyone knows who Orkin is. So one of the problems with that is that when you want a decent exterminator and you know that name and you call those people, you're not going to get the same kind of, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, you might, but most of the time people do not get the service they want from big box exterminators because, like I said, you're just a number. Unless you just get a really good, honest guy that works for them, that just wants to do a good job and will come over and take care of you, which does happen. Don't get me wrong, it does happen, just not very often. I get called behind all the time, big box exterminators. I have to go in and fix a problem because they weren't willing to take care of it. They weren't able to come out. They have bookings, you know, 3-4 weeks off into the future before they can actually get to you because of all the advertising they do, because they just keep their guys booked up. And so you're not going to get efficient. You're not going to get, you know, immediate care right away. Because they've got too much to do. Now, that being said, you also don't want to deal with someone that's just out of the back of his pickup truck, just thought, well, you know, I can buy some home defense at Walmart and come spray your house and kill your bugs for you. That's not what you want either. That's why I said it's important to make sure that your exterminator has the proper credentials, that he's licensed, he's insured, he knows what he's doing. He's not just going to be spraying bug spray and poisoning mice and rats around your house and possibly poisoning you and your pets in the process. So this is very important to keep this in. Now, see, I'm a local exterminator. I'm the only exterminator so far. I mean, I'm looking to hire in the future, but as it sits right now, I'm the only person that I work for myself. I stay busy all the time, 24/7. I always run all the time. Until I decide to hire somebody else. If you hire me, you get me. That's who you get. A lot of these bigger companies hire, they have salesmen. And so what'll happen this time of year, because it's warm, they'll do a sales run and they'll send salesmen out and they'll go door to door to door knocking, selling neighborhoods, handing out flyers, doing door hangers and stuff like that in order to try to drum up business. And a lot of times the salesman is just interested in a sale. And so he wants to make sure that he keeps his, you know, income flowing in, and he's willing to say or do, or well, not really do anything, but he's really just promising the world. And really the truth is that he can't provide it because the guy that comes in behind him is the actual technician. And a lot of times you'll get a really good sales pitch and a really poor execution because the sales, you know, the sales team isn't properly meshed in with the technicians. They don't really know what the technician's going to do. All they know is to say yes, yes, yes to the customer and get the customer to sign on the dotted line. So that's another problem with these really big name brand companies, is that you get that a lot. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack in the comments. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, I work for this company and they don't do that. And I work for this company and we don't do that either. And that's great. If that's good for you, that's good for you. Some of these companies are franchises and they operate a little differently. That's fine. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the general big box, like, you know, go to Walmart and complain about something. That's why half of the time the people just don't care because they know that someone else is going to come in and is right behind you in line ready to buy the same piece of crap they're trying to sell. So, you're not going to get, adequate, they're not going to really take care of you adequately like they should. Another reason you want to go with a smaller company is because they typically don't get as backed up. They don't have as much work. They're not behind. I mean, they're not pushed back so far that they can't get to you within a few days. When someone calls me and they have a problem with, say, a black widow spider, or a mouse has gotten into maybe your dish drawer or your silverware drawer or something, they find droppings everywhere. They don't want to wait 2 or 3 weeks for someone to come out there and bait for their mice or kill their spiders. They're worried about the spiders biting their children tomorrow. And so you better be able to get out there tomorrow. Now, I know this is a busy time of year because it's the summertime and all, but you need to be able to get out there and do the work when you're asked to do it. And you'll get that with a local company. It's very common to get that kind of service with local business because they're willing to come out. They're willing to get the work done. They're ready to get the work. They want to work. And so give them the work. They'll do it. Like I said, as long as they follow all those criteria, like I said, licensed, insured, that they are knowledgeable, they understand what they're talking about, even if they've only been in business maybe a year or two. The longevity, how long the business has been in operation isn't the deciding factor. You want to make sure you've got someone who actually knows what they're doing, what they're applying, licensed, insured, and that they've got, the proper protection in case something bad does happen. Mainly the reason you're licensed as a pest control technician is to protect your customer. If something dangerous were to happen, because you are applying pesticides, you're applying rodenticides, you're applying termiticides, and there is a possibility of poisoning groundwater, poisoning somebody's pet. It doesn't happen very often. In fact, it hardly ever happens at all anymore. But if for some reason it does happen, that's why they're insured. They can take care of you. Things get taken care of. So I hope this video has been beneficial to you. If you've made it to the end of the video, I want to ask a question. If there's anything that you guys would like to learn, if you would like me to talk about, I'm open to any suggestions at all. I know I've been doing a lot of self-help videos. I've been doing a few of the craziest stories I've ever been through videos. Let me know what you like, what you'd like to watch. I'm all about trying to help you out. If there's anything that I can do to help, let me know. Appreciate Jabron Fuller. He's my Patreon. I do have a Patreon server. The way it works is you can go in, you donate every so much a month, and it goes to help needy families in Virginia who have problems with bed bugs, who can't afford an exterminator. I try to make the service as affordable as possible because the bed bug epidemic is pretty serious. You go on my channel, you can see over 30-some videos I've got all dedicated to bed bugs because the problem is so prevalent. It's so bad, and I just want to make sure that everybody gets taken care of and everybody can afford exterminating, and that's what I use. All my Patreon funds go straight towards those people. So hopefully this has been helpful, beneficial. Share, like the video. If you really enjoy the content, think about subscribing to my channel. I try to do live streams on the weekends when I've got time. I know I'm real busy. Usually most of my live streams are done in the off season, typically in the winter, or maybe late fall. Hopefully this has been helpful to you, and y'all have a good day. Thanks.